guys can agree you could be with the right company, but at the wrong time. Okay? We've all failed to learn that the hard way. So I launched with another project. Okay? And here's what's so amazing about this project. It was dealing with a healthy coffee. How many of you guys drink coffee? Okay, how many of you guys not going to raise your hands no matter what I say? Okay? Well, it was dealing with coffee. And for the life of me, I was like, you know, I was reluctant to even look at this company. Why? Because I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't drink coffee. But I went and sat down with Mr. Holton Buggs out of respect for my friend, a gentleman by the name of Suleiman Rockman. I'll never forget it. Here I am sitting with Mr. Buggs, and, you know, at first my arms was crossed like this right here, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even know why I'm here, because I know I'm not going to sell any coffee. And I went on talking and hearing him, and I was so impressed with the things that he was telling me about what was going on in the company. People who never had success were having incredible success. And I started loosening up, and then I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and end this by telling this dude what's on my mind. I said, first of all, sir, I said, I can't imagine me selling coffee because I don't even drink coffee. Here's what he told me. He said, do you think that the owner of Purina Dog Chow eats dog food? I was like, okay, that was a good point, right? And he went on, he said, Jonathan, what you like to do should be your hobby. But what the world does should be your business. I mean, his philosophies, I was like so in tune with these philosophies. Why? Because the philosophies that I had embedded in me before were always holding me back. Let me give you an example, okay? My parents always said things like, money doesn't grow on. Good things come to those that never put all your eggs in the same. Right, so when you're telling me that there are people with fourth grade education making over $100,000 a month, people, you know, I was taught to go to school to get a great education so that you can make a lot of money. And so all of these new philosophies, man, I was so excited. Do you know that I went and resigned from that other project, launched in coffee, and before I ever even tasted any coffee, I was making six figures from home? Okay? So exciting. It was so exciting. I never had so much fun at that point in time because I was sharing a product that I didn't even have to consume because the world consumed the product. But here's what I realized. I got started in that company after the company was around 4.5 years. So I was impressed because I was like, man, I think I caught the right timing with this company. But about 10 months later, that company had already gone to over 1.5 million distributors around the world. That company created more millionaires than any company, period. That's the company that Mr. Holton Buggs reconstructed the compensation plan. He literally, over a 10-year period, generated over $110 million, built a real estate portfolio. Now his net worth is over $200 million. Walked away from that company. I got introduced to the travel industry. And man, when I tell you that over the last few years, we had so much fun traveling the world, not just because we wanted to travel, but the prices were so ridiculous. How could you pass over being able to go to the Dominican Republic, staying at a 5-star resort, and only paying $224 for 8 days and 7 nights? How many guys were going on the trip? I mean, we went multiple times on these trips because travel happens to be the largest and sexiest industry in the world. So now, you know, so we had a blast in it. But when I found out that Mr. David Manning, a legend within the travel industry, had been talking to a Mr. Holton Buggs with the #1 brand in the industry, I got excited about that, okay? Because I said, you know what? This is where things about to turn around, like, I'm talking about like quantum leap, okay? I met this gentleman. How many of you guys like Monopoly? Anybody like the game Monopoly? Okay, you're familiar with this word, right? I actually met the gentleman who created the Monopoly game. I sat down with him. And I was so excited because people that know me know I'm a Monopoly fanatic. I love the game. But I had the pleasure of sitting down with him in Orlando, Florida, at his home. And this gentleman went on to tell me how when he had this concept, he shopped his concept around to about 30 different manufacturers or distributors. And no one would invest in order to get his idea up and running so that he could make billions. Ran into the Parker brothers, started talking to them about his concept. And they told him, they said, look, the game is too complicated. You'll never obtain any success, but here's what we're willing to do. Because we believe that you are very creative and you're going to have success with inventions. They said, look, we'll go ahead, we'll pay you $500 for this idea. We'll own it. And then you can go out and create another idea, and we'll be one of the first ones to assess that idea and see if we can do business. What do you think he did? He accepted the $500. What do you think the Parker brothers did? They went on and made billions of dollars off the concept. He had an incredible product, but it's amazing when you get the right person who can take that around the world, that creates a massive explosion. Guys, I'm about to talk about this amazing business project that Mr. Holton Buggs just put together. And if you're a person that feels like you've never been in the right place at the right time before, we're going to take that away from you here tonight. You'll never be able to say that again. You know, I remember that, when in 1999, I had $10,000. The first time I had $10,000 that I could invest without affecting my lifestyle. I went to a gentleman. His name was James. I said, James was a self-made millionaire, made millions of dollars in the stock industry. So I felt good because I was enlisting in the help of a mentor. Went to James, said, James, I got $10,000. What do you recommend I do with it? He said, Jonathan, he said, if I were you, I would take all $10,000 and put it into these shares of stocks. And I was like, all of it? You remember those philosophies, right? He said, yes, all of it. I went to my car, and I'll be honest, I said this right here. I said, man, I don't know what James talking about. Mom always said you never put all your eggs in the same basket. So what did I do? I went and watched the stocks for 2 months. Just looked at them. They were 41 cents a share, so I could have purchased almost 25,000 shares of these stocks. But instead, I watched them. They were at 41 cents, went down to 37 cents, went as high as like 45 cents in 2 months. So I said, man, I knew James didn't know what he was talking about. So I stopped looking at the stocks. 8 months later, when I looked back at these stocks, they were trading at over $90 a share. That $10,000 investment would have yielded me a return of over $2.5 million. You got to realize if I had that $2.5 million, I probably wouldn't be doing this presentation right now, right? I'm still going through therapy over that one, okay? That's what you call a miss. Some of you guys are going to remember this. You're going to remember that story. And here's the main reason why. We're less than 1 week away from this project going live. And I'm going to tell you everything that you can expect to take place. But it's one thing to be in the right place at the right time. It's a whole other thing to make the right decision. We're not here to pressure you because you guys have what's called first movers advantage. That means that the people that move first are the ones that's going to have the biggest advantage with what I'm about to talk about. Okay? Yeah, we're talking about the travel industry. Yes, we're talking about building an environment where we have these elite entrepreneurs coming together. We've attracted some of the greatest minds to this project, but it's nothing if you don't decide to do anything with it, to capitalize on a wealth transfer. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about the product itself. You guys are going to have to be visionaries. You're going to have to really, really picture what I'm saying so that you can grab this, because if you miss it, it may cost you quite a bit. Okay? And so just imagine this. Travel is an $8 trillion a year industry. $8 trillion. Okay? That means, here, if a lot of times people say, well, the travel industry is saturated. There are so many other companies doing what you guys are doing. Do you realize that if there were 100 companies doing exactly what we're doing, and each of those companies generated $1 billion a year, we wouldn't even scratch a scratch within the travel industry. Wouldn't even scratch a scratch. You look at companies like Expedia. You look at companies like Priceline.com, right? We're familiar with those, right? We're familiar with those. Why? Because those two companies, can I get a paper towel, please? Those two companies own all of the other 36 travel companies that typically we go and search to find the lowest prices. They have something called price parity, right? Therefore, they have to stay within a certain margin of each other. Well, a little bit over 2 years ago, here's what Mr. David Manning did. Mr. David Manning came across, they flew out to California, met with a gentleman who had a product with a proprietary software such that it literally goes out throughout the travel industry, searches the lowest prices, and they can bring it back to their members. Okay? So now you're in a position that you can travel around the world wholesale versus retail, saving money on the travel that you were going to do anyway. There was this profound enthusiasm over this concept. That is the reason why we were traveling around the world as well. As a matter of fact, I remember sending my wife, my friend sent his wife. Oh, I wasn't married at the time, but I sent my fiance. He sent his wife, and my other business partner sent his wife. We sent them out to Times Square in New York. Stayed at a hotel that cost $700 a night. Man, we were seeing, it looked like we were really doing it, right? But we only paid $280 a night for the rooms. We were excited about that. We literally saved almost $500 per night on the room. But in addition to this concept, we had the opportunity, as a matter of fact, what's your name, man? Charlene, we had the opportunity, we could capitalize on these amazing benefits, but what I could do is I say, Charlene, you're about to travel around the world, I can send you an email, we call it a boomerang, okay? I could send you an email, and you could literally customize this website, and once you customize it, you can go to this website just like you go to Priceline and Expedia, and I could boomerang you 50% of the savings that I would get. Okay? Since I was a member, you couldn't get all the savings I got, but you got 50% of those savings. So whereas we got the room for $280, it would have cost you like $480, but it still didn't cost you $700. You would have been pretty happy about that, right? But here's the thing. You would have had to pay $39 a month to get that free website. Get that website. Right? Do you know that there were thousands of people that were willing to pay $39 a month because of the savings? Mr. Holton Buggs came in and he literally saw this. He traveled to one of his favorite hotels out in Las Vegas. And he stayed for 3 nights, saved $680. He heard about Mr. David Manning sending his leaders out to Vegas and staying at the Caesars Palace in suites that cost $18 a night. Mr. Holton Buggs was so excited about it. Had some of his friends to look at the concept. And here's what he said. He said, you know what? They went ahead and made a deal where he bought the whole platform. He bought it. The first thing he said he was going to do is he said, all of those customers that are paying $39 a month, we're going to give it to them for free. We're going to give it to them for free. What's your name? April. So how would you feel, first of all, if you were paying $39 for savings and now they came back to you when they could have kept keeping the money, but now they said they were going to give you the website for free? Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be so awesome. Now you can get all of those savings and not have to pay a penny if you were a customer, even though you're not even a part of the network marketing home-based business platform. Okay? This is the paradigm shift that's taking place. In addition to it, here's what he said. He said, look, not only are we going to give it to them for free, but what we're going to do for our business distributors is we want them in the next 60 days to go out and accumulate over 1 million customers worldwide that has this free customized website. And every time they shop, Charlene, okay, they're going to get savings, right? But they're not going to get the same savings we get. Every time they shop, we're going to pay them a commission check. 50% of the savings that they make, we're going to pay out in commissions to our business distributors. So get this. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but we're about to get filthy rich. Okay, another word would be filthy wealthy. Okay, when you really understand the concept here. So that means that my job now, I have a product that I give to my customers for free. They can go out and find the lowest prices in the industry with 110% a match guarantee, right? And then I'm going to get paid because I'm helping them save money. Wow. Isn't that like totally opposite of what's been happening in network marketing? Typically, we run from our friends and family members. Why? Because they're pushing a product that costs more than they can get from anywhere else. And they might have a spin on it. You know what I mean? People used to say, Jonathan, well, why would I buy this coffee when I like Folgers? I said, listen, I understand that you like Folgers, but this is what you call health in a cup. Right? I used to say things like that because it's true. That's the product. What it does is it neutralizes your blood pressure. You know what I mean? It helps your body optimally run. And then in addition to it, we were giving them free samples. And when they tasted the coffee, they loved it so much that all of these people around the world were buying this coffee. Do you know that I still got a whole lot of customers that still buying that coffee now? And I'm no longer part of the project. But I love this right here as well. You know why, April? Because what's going to happen is, if I gave you that free website and you're utilizing and you're traveling around the world and saving money, right? If I quit this business, are you going to stop using the site? No. So what Mr. Bug said is, look, we want some retention built in. We want to give distributors every bit of chance to obtain success in this business model. So the company says, listen, you can quit. I can quit if I want to. But what they're going to do is you're going to still become a customer. That money is not going to go up to the company. That money is going to go to the person who brought me into business. How many of you guys like that? Brilliant idea, guys. I understand that when I was a computer engineer, I liked working for companies that I felt like were employee-centric. That means that they cared about the employees. What I love best about Mr. Holton Buggs, having worked with him, and his reputation is stellar. What I love best about this gentleman is he is what we call field-centric. He cares about the field and what they have to go through in order to build these massive networks. Okay, and so when you, how many guys, if that product exists, how many guys will be willing to pay for the product even though you can get it for free? Yeah. Okay. It just makes sense because we travel abroad. Okay, and so here's what we're about to do. We're about to give you some examples. Okay. Remember I told you about those 5 criteria that Harvard Business School talks about. He talks about the company and the leadership, the need in the marketplace, the product itself. Well, the last 2 are some of the most important pieces that you want to make sure you cover. The compensation plan and then the timing. Okay? The timing. Like I said, you guys are definitely in the right place at the right time, but I'm about to bring up my partner to really explain to you guys. He's going to share with you guys some of the details, of course, on that product, but he's really going to show you how you can go out and create an amazing stream of income by giving away these websites, right, without ever having to recruit people. How many guys hate recruiting people? All right, yeah, I mean, it's natural. Statistics show that the average person will recruit about 2.5 people throughout their entire tenure in network marketing. I don't know where they get the 0.5 from, okay, but yet and still it shows that the average person won't even recruit 3 people. But you know what's so amazing? It's so amazing because people don't even have to recruit within this business model, they go and recruit anyway. They want to recruit because it's so simple. They want to be able to introduce people who don't like to recruit. Yes. Simple as that. The worst thing in network marketing that I've ever felt was bringing people aboard that I felt like could win and they never even won. They never won because of fear of recruiting. Now, they don't have a problem. They're passionate about helping other people. They're going to give this website away. And so really, guys, for the second portion right here, and then we're going to open up a Q&A to help you guys. Look, I understand. Look, we don't need a PowerPoint. We got the whiteboard because we want to show you some numbers and so forth. But guys, understand the reason why you were hand selected to be here is because you guys are visionaries. Okay? You've been identified as a person that capitalizes, willing to capitalize on being in the right place at the right time. And this gentleman I have the pleasure of bringing up, he was flown in along with myself. Now, we sat down with only about 7 or 8 other individuals, top earners and former CEOs and the industry guys. We received that personal call, and we got the vision from Mr. Holton Buggs. But understand that this gentleman, he's an attorney by trade. Okay, he's also he's represented professional athletes. He's been an agent. Okay, he's branded them. He's helped them get endorsements and go out and make millions of dollars. This gentleman's a 7-figure earner within this industry. And I'm not talking about cumulative. This gentleman understands what it's like to make $1 million a year from a home-based business model. Mr. Spencer Absolutely. Come on, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Y'all give it up for Mr. Green. Y'all give it for Mr. Green. We're going to be really informal. As Mr. Green said, we don't need a PowerPoint. We don't. I may or may not even use a whiteboard. I really just want to have some transparent conversation with you guys about realistically what's happening. I may share with you all some stuff that's probably been deemed confidential. Okay, but Mr. Green, I'm honored to be in partnership with him. You all are hearing from an icon, and you probably want to get a picture with him tonight, because if you see him about 60, 90 days from now at an event, you won't be able to get close to that guy. Another 7-figure earner, and I had a chance to watch him in another project. He was already a top money earner. He was a diamond in that company, and then we had a chance to share the stage together. Then we locked arms in a travel project and literally broke every record in that company in our first 30 to 45 days. And so here we are again, and what I'm gonna try not to do is use a lot of cliches. As an attorney, I'm not the excitement guy. I'm not the rah-rah guy. We're not here to get you emotionally charged. I have a love-hate relationship with this industry, right? There are elements that I love about it. There's some things that I really, really don't like. I had the pleasure of meeting that beautiful young lady right there, Ms. Shaniza Dussault, who was in the company. We were sidelining each other, but she commanded an audience like you would not believe. Just one of the best public speakers and trainers I've ever seen. And you all know that about Shaniza. She's a leader's leader. And when Mr. Green gave us a call that she was joining us in this project, without a hesitation, we got so excited. And so this is the first and probably the only meeting I'm doing like this, right? Because I'm really not supposed to be doing this, but for Shaniza Dussault, we will do this. That's a whole other story. Here's where we'll start. Mr. Green kind of hit on it. Have you ever really been in the right place at the right time? And I know you sometimes hear that a lot in presentations. I think that the dynamics of the country are changing, where people are it's becoming more real, that if you do not take more seriously your financial future, you will get left behind. Companies are even starting to advertise it. They're making it a part of their marketing campaigns, like Uber, right? Like Uber. Uber is advertising the side hustle. See, it used to be frowned upon in the United States to have something other than your job. Now they're celebrating. Oh no, I work and I got a side hustle. Look at what happened with the government shutdown. If you need no other example than the government shutdown, the fact that this guy was willing to let almost 1 million folks just go because of his own selfish ambitions. And this isn't a political statement, it's just a reality of what was happening, irregardless of what was happening with their personal situations, their rent, school payments, just nothing, right? So what if we had a plan B? So here we are in the world's largest industry, and I can't stress enough about Houghton Bugs and Houghton Bugs factor, okay? He is the Michael Jordan of the industry. Okay, and I apologize for being back. I would never do that. But this is growing so fast, Mr. Green. I got some good news for you. The guy I was on the phone with, I was on a call with 2 countries, Malaysia and Singapore. 2 leaders, okay? This one guy, okay, is coming on board to this project. He's opened up the entire Far East for other countries. He met Mr. Bugs from CyberWise. He opened up Asia for a company called World Ventures. Right? And so I have to tonight get Houghton on the phone because he wants to do the same thing. Now, this is a guy who's talking about 10, 15, 20,000 people. Now, to show you the power of what we're talking about tonight, see, Mr. Green and I had the privilege of a Microsoft moment, right? When people say, hey, have you ever been in a meeting? What would you do if you were there with Bill Gates and he was formulating the company? That was the meeting Mr. Green and I were in, when they were formulating this company. No company name, no compensation plan, no PowerPoint, no packages to even buy. There weren't even packages to buy. And here we are, number 0004 in the entire company, right? This guy, though, in terms of what he's opened before his history, he's opened up, like I said, he said, Spencer, this is going to be nothing for 10 to 15,000 people, right? And this was my point. He's flying from Singapore to Malaysia tomorrow, okay? Because I was trying to schedule the call. I want you to listen to what's happening. He says, World Ventures already knows about this project. He says, on the agenda for World Ventures later this weekend, because they're having a little conference, is Houghton Bugs' company, and what are they going to do? That is the impact this man is having around the world. A whole company is having a meeting, and one of the agenda items is, what are we going to do? I said, y'all might not make it. Y'all might not make it. Because his influence is that strong. And so here you are in a room with a young lady as her personal guest. And I think what breaks my heart, my dad's a preacher, okay? And I'm a worship leader where I worship. And so I don't apologize for making biblical references. Scriptures come to my mind like perhaps Jay-Z. And so anyway, so I have people in my life who say they prayed for an opportunity. David, Mr. Iverson, I've been praying, and here I am calling you. I think one of the biggest things I'm grateful for is the day when David Manning called that I answered the phone.
That's right.
See, sometimes your phone is ringing and we won't even pick it up. Not knowing that the blessing could be on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, opportunities don't go away, they just go to other people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go away. And this isn't me trying to get y'all to sign up in anything. Trust me, Shania's Busong is done. She is done. She is literally trying to say, listen guys, y'all can't see everything right now. Matter of fact, if we did have a beautiful PowerPoint and video and comp plan, guess what? It's too late. You already missed it.
You missed it.
You missed it. You should be celebrating. Y'all don't have a PowerPoint? Oh my gosh. I knew it. Right? Because we don't have all of those things. The company, look at the company name. Don't y'all like that? Company don't even have a name yet.
Right.
I had a lady, listen, it's moving so fast that had a lady almost in tears. I missed it. The company don't even have a name yet. But she feels that she missed it because so many major leaders are coming on board because it makes sense. I never made more money for a longer period of time and had more fun than when I was in travel. Oh, think about it. Other companies' rewards is our product. If you sell enough juice, we'll send you to Hawaii. You sell enough makeup, we send you to Europe. No, I have to go to Hawaii. It's my job to get on jet skis and sample the food and get a massage and report back to you, safe to come to Hawaii. Right? That's our job, right? So there are some key things. There's 3 things, and then I'll be quiet and we'll take some questions. 3 things that people have been asking me as we've done, gosh, hundreds of what I was doing and Mr. Green's done this night. What's the difference? Here's what we do not purport to be. We do not purport to be the first and only company in home-based business space or network marketing company that has a travel product. We do not. Okay. So what makes us different? The first thing is Houghton Bucks. Okay. You take Michael Jordan off of those '86 Bulls, and you just have an average basketball team. You take LeBron off the Lakers. Well, they're still not going to make the playoffs. You take Tiger Woods out of golf. Okay. And you got people who are not watching. And Tiger Woods effect. I'll stick with Houghton Bugs again. There were people who saw what Houghton did in a company called Organo Golden Coffee. They replicated the comp plan. They went to the same manufacturer to do the coffee. They used the same channels of distribution and still couldn't replicate what he had done. Why? Because you can't be Houghton Bugs. Right. You have to tip your hat to a, he's that guy. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the compensation plan. He looked at the industry, and if you can look at a funnel, I could actually draw this. Watch this. It's like this. Okay. Right. Anybody know what that is?
Yeah, funnel.
Oh, I know you know this. It's a funnel. Okay, a funnel has a small end in the beginning, right? Mr. Bugs looked at the funnel. He looked at the industry of all travel companies in network marketing, and he said, why are y'all paying out a small end of the funnel? Here's what I mean. Here's what he meant. I was at a company called YTB Travel years ago, and here's what they did. And this is what every other company, I'm going to call names, and I'm not calling these names to be derogatory. I'm just using them. Oh, this is so slow. All right. But Planet Marketing, Evolution, Evolve, Surge 365, every other home-based company that has travel as its product pays this way. What's your name now?
Juanita.
Juanita, we've met before, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Juanita.
Yeah. The Dumont Coleman.
Yes. Juanita goes to my website. She's my friend. She books a rental car on my website, from my website. She spends $100, okay? Hertz is who she books it through of my website, and they pay about a 10% commission. So the total commission is what?
$10.
Come on, Atlanta now.
$10.
$10. 10% of 100, right? So here's what YTB or any of those other travel companies would do. They will pay you 60% of the commission. So the total commission is what?
$10.
$10. They're going to pay you 60% of the $10.
$6.
So you're going to make $6. So you do that a couple of dozen times, and you're going to have a nice candlelit dinner at Burger King for your family. But it ain't going to change your life, okay? Right. Holden says, why are y'all doing that? Why are you doing it that way? Because see, he got a chance to see what nobody else typically sees, which are the margins. It's kind of like jewelry, furniture, tremendous margins in jewelry. Take my word for it. Take those nice earrings and go try to resell them. Like, you would not get what you paid for them, right? Same thing with furniture. Tremendous margins in furniture. Anyway, tremendous margins in travel. Houghton got a chance to see that. He said, so why are we paying from this tiny end when there's so much more money on this big end? He says, man, so when David Manning from the CEO of Extreme Travel and his company Traveris, they had a program developed out of San Diego. They sent the beta version to Houghton to try. He was saving so much money on his travel. He saved $680 on a room in Vegas 3 nights at the suite he always gets. He's blown away until he found out what happened with David Manning, who went to Vegas a couple of weeks earlier on a leadership retreat, got 10 rooms, all suites at Caesar's Palace for $18 a night. Now Houghton said, look, y'all need to come, y'all need to come to Houston. We need to talk. Because his good friend, Peter Hirsch, who we've known for years, Peter Hirsch is a New York Times bestselling author. He argued cases in front of the Supreme Court. Peter put the deal together, but he wasn't trying to recruit Houghton or anything. He's just their best friends. Houghton saw this and just had this epiphany. That's where the earthquake started that created the tsunami that we're experiencing right now. And much like a tsunami, if you see the wave, you die. Y'all follow that? Mm-hmm. If you see the wave, you die. But just because you didn't know about the explosion doesn't mean the tsunami is not happening. Mm-hmm. Because there were boats on the water in Indonesia and in Malay when that tsunami hit years ago, and it went right up under them and they felt nothing. But that did not mean it wasn't happening. And see, what's going to happen, unfortunately, Shaniza, with a lot of people is they're going to see your lifestyle change. They're going to watch Mr. Green's lifestyle change. By the time you see that, it is what?
Too late.
It's too late. And people will have missed again, right? Houghton saw all of the savings and said, listen, why don't we pay from the big end? So now, Melissa?
No.
What is it?
Michelle.
Oh, so close. Michelle goes to Europe with some girlfriend. Girlfriend should be Europe. Saves $2,000 on the trip. Michelle had no intention on going to a conference call. She didn't want to go to no conventions, no Super Saturday trainings. She just wants to take her trip to Europe. Saves $2,000 by booking on our website. She's excited because she saved money on her travel. I'm excited because Houghton says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay for the big end. We're going to pay you 50%. 50% of the savings. So if she saved $2,000, how much did I just make? I made $1,000 on a trip she was going to take anyway. That's the game changer. Houghton Bugs and this compensation plan. See, now what he's done is, now in this model, you're left to do one thing, and that's recruit. When I was in White Chat, I have no shame in telling y'all, there were months where my check was $40, $50, $60, $70,000 a month. And they would break it up between the team building side and the travel side. My travel check, now I want y'all to see if y'all can guess. Guess how much my travel check was every month with a team of 40,000 people. So I take a guess. What do you think it was? From travel commissions.
0.
5,000. 5,000.
5,000? No, not 5,000. Not bad guess, but not 5,000. On average.
10,000.
10,000? What would you say? A team of 40,000 people.
Is this a month?
Every month. 40,000
people.
40,000 people, my travel check. Now my team building check was between 50 and 70,000 a month. My travel check from all those folks cumulatively traveling, what would you guess it would be?
100,000.
100,000, I bet. One more guess, what would you say?
You had 40,000 people, and they average how much in travel?
If I told you that, you'd give you a hand.
That's not something, right?
But just from that sheer volume of people, what would you surmise?
Well, let's say they did 2,000 apiece.
Okay.
That would be 80,000.
Fantastic. Very rarely they get over $1,000 a month in travel
How would
commissions.
you like to be?
Okay, how about that, right? Very rarely did I have over $1,000 a month. And that is the model that every single company uses today. I would do a training called Behind the Curtains, where we would expose people to what you don't know about this industry. And that's one of them. So what are you left here to do? Recruit. And if you're not a big recruiter, if you're not Jonathan Green, if you're not Shaniza in those models, you have no shot. None whatsoever. They want to fool you into thinking that. Parade you across the stage. And don't be a diamond, no, you're not. No shit. No, I'm just being honest with you. You don't.
Right.
So Houghton says, listen, here, we can just have people give give these boomerangs away. What's a boomerang? It's a link to your website. It's what we branded. Okay? A boomerang, call it boomerang because savings go out, profits come back. Okay? But they have some proprietary technology in those boomerangs. So if I give it to April, you can't give it to 20 friends. It is only for April. There's a code in it. That's only for you. You can use it over and over again, but you can't share it, right? So if I give April my boomerang, all I want to do is have April book travel. There will be people who earn 6 to 7 figures a year, some a month, and all they do is give out boomerangs and have people booking travel. And see, the reason he's limited them is so that they retain their value, right? He doesn't want these internet marketers to say, hey, just shotgunning these things all over the place. And the different packages, you will get a limited amount. That way, I'm going to be very judicious. So if I know that April doesn't travel, then she's not getting my boomerang.
Right.
Because it's going to be a significant part of my income.
Right.
So I'm looking for wedding planners and event planners, people who are AAU basketball, competitive cheer. I got a guy in my church named Lawrence. Lawrence worked for some pharmaceutical sales company. And he travels he's all over the world. He's a big time pharmaceutical sales rep. His company doesn't care where he books. He needs to book it online and use the company's credit card. Guess who's getting one of my links? That's why I'm not giving y'all his last name, because some of y'all going to try to give him. I'm going to give him one of my boomerangs. Because he books travel all the time. I don't want him to come to a meeting. He knows what I've done in network marketing. If he would have wanted to join, he would join me years ago. Right? I just want him to do what he's always done, which is book travel. Our website has a 110% money back guarantee. If you find a better price online, we'll match that price and give you 10% of that price as a discount. So you're getting the same thing, right? So 50%. So Mr. Iverson, as I wrap up, talk to me more about customers. Talk to me more about. I'm conservative. I'm conservative, right? I don't know a lot of people. I'm not going to go hard with this, but I see some merit in it. I can get probably 10 customers. Now we've already done all the metrics, okay? Given the program that we have, it's looking at people will be saving on average about $600 a trip when they do their trips. So if you get 10 people in a year who save about $600 a trip, you're looking at about $3,000 in bonuses with just 10 customers in a year. Not bad. Mr. Iverson, I'm not conservative at all, but I'm not going to go all out. Kind of like my job, probably what you call moderate, no problem. Go out there and maybe get 100 customers in a year who save about $600 on their trip. You're looking at about $30,000 in bonuses with just 100 programs. See, another utility that I talked to the company about months ago, about 45 days ago, was an enterprise application. I do a lot of executive training for different companies. And one of the companies I did a training for last year was a company called Apex Window Solutions. They got about 20 employees that do sales in the region. Same thing. Company car, book your travel online, go handle and work with your vendors. Ideal for something like this. I don't need them to come to some meeting, sit down, get wowed in front of the room, everybody sign up into some program. No, give the company a website. Have the employees book the travel they're going to book anyway through the company's website. The more they save, the more the company makes. It basically turns into a rebate, the more I make. Right? Isn't that a refreshing idea? Anybody can go out there and get customers. What about churches now? See, now I don't have to go and try to convince pastor to sign up and because as pastors, the biggest concern for a pastor in network marketing is what? What's the biggest concern? His what?
Reputation.
His reputation or his influence. Mm-hmm. And pastors are the first targets. I'm gonna go talk to my pastor. And then pastors become desensitized to good opportunities because they don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize their influence with their members. Mm-hmm. Now, pastor, we don't need y'all to know. We're developing right now a minister's program, a church program, a charity program. The church gets its own website. And again, we don't have all the members line up, sign up. Oh my God, I see that again. No, we don't. We just want the members to book travel. Take the vacations and the spring break and the Christmas and Thanksgiving trips you're going to take anyway. Just book them through the church's website. The more money they save, the more money goes back to the church. The more money goes back to you. Real simple. Real simple. That's why I hoped when we had that private meeting, Spencer, and I told the guy from Singapore and Malaysia this. We're about to build the biggest company in the history of home-based businesses. And even if you don't believe that, evidence is on that call right there. Mm-hmm. When they convene this weekend in Malaysia, one of the topics is Houghton bugs in travel. Mm. That's crazy to me. I'm going to take something, I'm going to take them, dude, you cause some problems. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Mr. Iverson, I'm aggressive. I'm Shanice. I can get I can get 1,000 customers. Fantastic. 1,000 customers. You're looking at over $300,000 in travel bonuses. You didn't recruit one person. Didn't have one person go to a meeting, no conference calls. There are going to be some really creative people going out there. And see, here's the thing. Once I give April my link to my Boomerang, she's my customer. See, if we're training our teams now, you should have two lists. Lists of people who want to build a team and lists of what? Of customers. You can win either way. See, before when we used to poll our teams, man, you want to come on, you need to get your 2 people, you need your 10 people. Listen, no, y'all have been there before, right? All of us, y'all in therapy, we pray for each other. So now it's just get some customers. Who can't do that? Now your ears will become attuned to anybody who says anything about travel. Oh, I'm sorry, you said travel? I mean, you just start thinking and wanting to give those links away because of the value that's attached to it. Mr. Jarvis, I can't build a team. I'm somewhat influential. Fantastic. Let's start with a moderate number. We'll just do this one. Let's say over time, you build an organization of 1,000 folks. 1,000 people. Okay? Over time. Who each go out and get 10 customers. They take the conservative approach. These are not monster customer getters. They go out there and get 10 customers in the course of whatever, a year. Using the numbers that we've already been talking about. Each of these customers save $600 a trip. Okay? That comes out to about 10 customers with 1,000 distributors is 10,000 trips that will be happening through your organization in the course of a year. Okay? Comes out to about 30 trips a day. 30 trips a day, about $9,000 a day in bonuses paid for your organization. When we convert that to the business volume, the BV, the point system that we have, comes out to about 12,600 points. Okay? At the bottom level of our comp plan, it pays out 10%. So we'll just say that. Some of y'all have surpassed that. We'll say 10%. That's $1,260 a day, $37,000 a month, or $453,000 a year. And that's just on a team of 1,000. See, Shanice has built teams of 5, 10, 15,000 people. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all she's kind of done. And right now, from a building perspective, it's never been easier because so few people know about it. You know, most of us, we get involved in stuff that's way too late. We wait for the manifestation of the success to be so apparent that by the time you tell somebody, they already know about it. They're already with somebody. That's why people are lining up right now just to get in position. I've never seen anything like it before. I haven't. That's why I'm intentionally toning the rhetoric down, even though on the inside I'm doing backflips. Because every day I have 2 or 3 calls like that from industry giants. We have a meeting on Friday at Houghton's home, and I said it's going to be like the League of Legends. No, seriously, there will be people there who they wrote books about. There are people flying. We have 2 people flying in from Australia to be at his home to see the vision firsthand, up close and personal. And so I can't say enough about Shaniza and Mr. Green and the position opportunity that we have. I know you all have questions. So much of this is still in development. Okay, but this is not one I would give too much thinking to, right? And Mr. Ray, if you want to come back up, so maybe we can entertain some questions. I probably left out some things, but anything you want to add, or let me say this: we do have some resources. For example, there are PowerPoints. They do these Zoom presentations throughout the day in different languages. It seems like they're adding new languages every other day.
Right.
We went from English to Spanish, and then Spanish to Korean. Turkish. They're about to add
Turkish.
They're about to add Turkish. They're about to add Russian. And then with this call I had, they're going to add.
Tagalog.
Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, so you have a lot of resources. Obviously, our team is replete with training. I mean, pretty soon, as a matter of fact, one of the things we'll talk about as a group in Houston on Friday is getting a training schedule, leveraging all. We're flying a guy, he was the number 26 money earner in the world. In the world. He's on our team now. I mean, how can that guy not train on this platform? I mean, the training will not be your issue. You've got a wealth of experience. And so, Mr. Ray.
Absolutely, guys. And so one thing we want to go ahead and highlight, we just shared with you the model in terms of if you decide to partner up with us, how you can go out and focus on customer acquisition and win without recruiting people. Okay, we do want to talk about the packages to give you an idea of the investment that it takes, and we're going to talk about the value proposition behind it as well. Okay,
I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. So we have 3 packages. Every package has an admin fee of $49.95 to secure your position. Okay, so you can secure your position tonight for $49.95. Now, when you fly, you may fly coach, which is fantastic. You know, Mr. Iverson, I'm a coach person. You know, I'm Spirit, Southwest, no problem. Coach is $250. One time $250. You come in at the bottom of the comp plan at 10%, and you're going to get 10 boomerangs that you can give to family and friends through which they can book travel. Okay. The next package is called, Mr. Iverson, you know, I don't fly coach at all. I don't fly business class, I don't fly. Okay, fantastic. We have a business class package that's $500 one time. Okay. You're going to get 25 boomerangs that you can give away, and you come in at a 12% payout in the dual team. We have two major parts of our comp plan: the binary or dual team, and the unitary, which pays the residual. But then some of you all look like y'all first class folks. You know, I just look. If I can't fly first class, my body don't move. Miss Shania do something. So we have a first class package that's $1,000. You come in at the top of the comp plan, it's 20%. You get 50 boomerangs that you can give out to family and friends. Okay. Right now, for a limited time, that's considered the Founders Package. Houghton is doing some amazing things with the Founders Package. For example, this weekend, there's a VIP exclusive access party only if you came in at the first class Founders Package. VIP seating. You know, I think he's going to expedite the waiting in lines because there are always thousands of people at these events. And y'all know what it's like to go to these events and stand in line for whatever, for them to find the ABC. Anyway, so expedited seating. And he's limiting them, though. We don't know when he's going to cut off the founders' privileges for these packages because there's a certain number he has in mind for every country. Okay. Also, that 20% payout, this is crazy, and if you're a builder, you'll understand and appreciate this. You're locked into that payout for one full calendar year of your anniversary date, regardless of your rank. Most of the time, you have to build to that. You got to go from 0 to Crown Diamond. Is that for 20%?
Black.
Okay, I'm sorry, Black Diamond, which is about $1 billion in volume. Okay. No, he's saying no, for one full year, you're grandfathered into the maximum payout. So think about it. For the same amount of work, let's say Mr. Green goes out and does 100,000. You don't have to draw it out. I'm just going to do that. Does 100,000 in volume, okay, and then April does 100,000 in volume. Okay, you are doing the same amount of volume, but the person who came in at this package gets paid twice as much for the same amount of work, right? So that really excited, you know, the builders. Okay, so and like I said, you get 50 boomerangs with that. So those are the three packages. And the monthly is $99 a month. So, another thing that excites me as I look historically what Houghton has done is in Organo Gold. Was anybody in Organo Gold in the coffee company? Anybody heard of Organo Gold?
Heard that, yeah.
Anybody heard of coffee? Did I get it right? Okay. Well, in this old company, their top package was $1,500. Okay. The monthly auto ship that they almost demanded was $500. $500. Guys, the thing I love is the package won't ever go above 1,000, and your monthly commitment won't go above $99. Okay, which is a tax deduction in and of itself. No product you have to inventory. That's the thing I liked about travel. Listen, when I was in coffee, this is fun. When I was in coffee, I had so much coffee because I didn't drink coffee, and I mean, but I had to buy it every month to keep my business up. I mean, I had so much coffee that even after I left, like kids came trick or treating. Oh, they didn't know candy. I was doing latte and black coffee, hot chocolate samples. I mean, I had coffee for years after this. So anyway, nothing I got an inventory, right? It's just all kind of virtual. So, I mean, people told me it was good coffee. It's just, I just had too much of it.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
okay, guys, Mr. Green.
Yeah, so we want to entertain whatever questions you guys have over the next few moments. We don't want you to miss because maybe something didn't connect for you. We want it to connect. And the biggest thing that doesn't connect is that fear factor. Okay, I don't ask a lot of you guys because you're guests, and I look forward to getting a chance to build with you and meet you. But one thing I will ask is you not let your fear put your faith in a wheelchair. Go for it. Just go for it. Okay. There are a lot of people that will be so thankful to be in this type of positioning. Understand that we have one of the most aggressive compensation models. One of the most aggressive compensation models we have it in our back pocket if you're looking to team build, okay? The company is still about a week out from launching. Yet and still, you'll be able to simply say, man, you know what? You'll be sharing the story, how we were in this small room, and you made a decision to lock in your position, and you're one of the founding members of the entire company. Guys, understand, you will have such a position of equity. Here's why I'm telling you that. All of you guys will be personally sponsored by Shaniza, okay? Shaniza's only building 2 legs. 2 organizations. 2 legs, okay? Everybody that she recruits is going to fall on her left side or her right side, all right? And so you remember I was telling you guys about first movers advantage? I said the people who move first have the biggest advantage, okay? It's called equity. I assure you, you can go out and invest into real estate. There's not a real estate portfolio, period, that can grow as fast as this equity is going to grow that you're about to capitalize in this business model. Because here's what happens. You see, you can simply say, well, you know what? I really want to do it, but I need to think about it, right? That's totally up to you because we're not pressured type of people, okay? And here's what happens. You would have the opportunity to lock in this spot. But instead, a week later, we're out there building. There are already people laid out in these 2 legs. And, you know, I love it, man. I get these calls every single day. They're like, Mr. Green, man, all these people keep falling down under my organization, bro. You guys are kidding. But guess what? It created fear of loss for them. And they were looking. They were looking saying, man, you know, I'm so glad that I locked in when I did. Because here's what happened. You can secure this position here, or you can wait. Somebody's going to get the position. Because even if Shaniza does not recruit them, I'm recruiting, Spencer's recruiting, and people are going to fall beneath. So just imagine here, you skip over this position, this person comes in, and now this person is building here, and all of these people, they're out there just building their networks and so forth, and all of those people should have been in. You call her tomorrow, or you call her next week and say, okay, Shaniza, I'm ready, and guess what? You fall here. You fall here. So whether these people came in at $250, the $500, or the $1,000, all the volume actually adds up. Okay? You could have very well missed out on $60,000 of volume right there. You could have missed out on $20,000. Who knows? But here's what the company says. If you secure this position of equity right here, that volume is going to accumulate there, and all we have to do is focus on helping you build 1 leg. All of those people that fell under the leg and you didn't have anything to do with, let me give you that example, okay? Let's say $60,000 of volume is over there. You got that not from your talent. You experienced that from your timing. You set up a home party like this, or you just invite people onto a conference call. Myself, Shaniza, Spencer, we're going to do the presentation for you. You invite them to the call because you don't know if they'll just be interested in traveling and saving the discounts, or they might be interested in the business. You're not dictating which one they do. All we're simply doing is saying invite them to a call so that we can paint the vision on what's about to take place. Here's what happens. You recruited Jonathan. Jonathan decided, you know what, man, why would I get 10% when I can get 20%? Like, that doesn't make sense for me, okay? So guess what? Jonathan just got started at $1,000, right? I invested $1,000 here. Let's say Jonathan went out and recruited Mike, and he recruited Mark. Mark and Mike. Mike got started at $500. Mark got started at $500. Mark went out and recruited Dion. Here's what happens, guys. Every week, this is your position. Every week, the company's going to look at all of the volume over there that you had nothing to do with, and then they're going to look at all the production over here. They're going to add it up. They're going to say 1,000 plus here, that's 2,000, and then Dion came in at 1,000. Guess what? That's another 1,000. They say, wow, you got $3,000 this week in volume over here. $3,000 this week in volume, and you got $60,000 over there. So here's what they're going to say. Well, what level did you come in? You came in at $250? Okay, well, we're going to pay you 10%. So we're going to pay you 5% of this volume, and we're going to match 5% on that side that you had nothing to do with. Another way of saying that is, we're going to pay you 10% of the lesser leg. What's 10% of 3,000? Huh? That's $300. That's $300 that you made off of this work because you recruited Jonathan and he went out and just built the team, right? You made $300 this week at the coach. But then, of course, If you got started at the $500 level, the business class, you're not going to get 10%, you're going to get 12%. Okay? However, if you make the investment to get started at the first class, you're not going to get 10%, 12%. You're going to get paid 20%. What's 20% of $3,000? That's $600 this week that you generated, and you recruited Jonathan. You said, man, you know what? Here's what happened, guys. Here's what you got to see. You guys might simply say, man, I've never had any big builders on my team. Guess what? You know some, right? You know some big builders that we don't know, and you should be thinking to yourself, man, you know what? What if I could reach out to such and such, and he's never heard of this project, and he doesn't have to judge me for my success in the industry. What if I could get him on the phone with Mr. Iverson? What if I let him watch a video from Mr. Bugs, and he liked it so much, and I connected him to Mr. Iverson, and Mr. Iverson was able to work with this guy, and I was able to place this guy over here, and now he goes to build a huge organization? You guys see how that works? That's exactly how it works. Here, let me give you another example here, because I drew this out for some teammates. And, you know, the thing about, I use smaller numbers here. I don't like to use smaller numbers. You know why? Because I need to elevate you. I don't want to talk about numbers that you're comfortable with. I want to show you I want to help you create a new normal. Okay? So let's say Shaniza went out there and built this whole organization, one organization over here. Let's say this organization got $150,000 of volume. You realize that's just 150 people at the first class. That's it. That means that 150 people over here, that means that those 150 people are going out recruiting people. That means that volume will not stop. It's just going to continue growing. But you took a chance on yourself. You said, man, you know what? I don't know if I can catch that volume, but what if I possibly was able to catch that volume one day? Doesn't matter. It starts with one. You went out and introduced someone who you knew was a builder. This person went out and got a $1,000 package. He went and built a team of people. Let's say this week, surprisingly to you, you ended up with $12,000 of volume over here. I better use it. Just because I'm a mathematician, I'm using round numbers right here, okay? It's simple. You see that in food with that 12% of 300, right? Hey! $10,000. $10,000 of volume here, what's 10% of it? 1,000. So this week you made $1,000, right? Okay. All right, you get started in the business class. 12%, that's $1,200. At the first class, you just made $2,000. That was for that week. Do you realize that all that means is that 10 people got started at this level, you made $2,000 this week? Do you realize basically if that happened like that every single week, you had $2,000 a week? That's $8,000 a month. But watch this. This is not even the strongest part of the compensation plan. But this here, if we focus on this, you automatically tap into the strongest part of the compensation plan as well. Guys, understand this is one of the most aggressive compensation plans we've ever seen. And of course, the company is very generous for allowing people to start out at this first class and capitalize on a 20% payout. Like he stated, your business would have to do $1 million of volume per month to get this 20%. And the company is simply saying, because you are capitalizing on this before the company even has a name, because we don't have a PowerPoint, because the infrastructure that you need to support your business is not in place, because you are operating on vision, you're one of the founding members of the company. We're going to start you out with the highest percentage of the company. And you have one whole year to capitalize on this percentage to build your business out so that you can go ahead and earn your way to that percentage and keep it